If you ever walked into a ski shop to get a pair of skis and the sales guy said, well, reach your hand up, and the tip went to your palm, and you picked up a 203 or a 207 or a 210 straight ski, then you're part of the turning generation. We were born and bred to turn. I remember the first time, early days of the Yellowstone Club, they invited me over to ski with a new free rider. And we got on along the ridge there, and I said to the kid, drop in, I want to see what you do. And he hopped into one of those chutes and went straight to the bottom. And I said, wow. And I jumped in and skied and turned all the way down to where he was. And he was leaning on his poles. And I go, dude, that was amazing. I never would have thought to do what you do. He goes, funny, I never would have thought to do what you just did. We're the turning generation. The mogul skiers. Yeah. The bumps. The snake. Snow contact. Keep the tips down. And nobody did that better than Mr. John Eaves. One of my true ski heroes. He was in all the films. His feats were amazing. We talked earlier about the generational pull of the sport, how it's a family thing. John's mom, Rhoda, and John's aunt, Rhoda's twin sister, are both honored members of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. The Wurtel twins were famous ski racers in the 40s and the 50s, Olympians, and they were inducted into the hall in 1969. I imagine John in 1969 seeing that as he was launching his career, looking out over the landscape, knowing, not thinking, knowing what could be possible on skis. There's got to be something in that Canadian water, don't you think? Huh? Up there in the north with ski lineage and heritage like that. I think John Eaves should be called the original extreme skier, decades before all of us. This cat was doing things on skis before the term extreme even existed. Earlier, I was talking to him about this one clip I watched where he was skiing up in CNH, and he floated through the air forever. He just lingered it out there. And on those straight skis, he landed and skied away. Amazing. His high-flying tricks are unmatched. But when you look at the mogul style, there's no skidding. There's no rut line. No, he's riding the humps of the bumps. He's finding the smooth line. The knees are pumping, the tips are down. Just so classic. And the one-piece suit. Cut it out. Crushing every piece of it. He changed the game forever when he became a Hollywood stuntman and skied as a stunt double for James Bond in the famed movie For Your Eyes Only. And I'm sure his creativity and style and vision led to that amazing ski chase scene where they're chasing John on motorcycles. He's landing on top of roofs, skiing over tables, and then drops in on the bobsled run in Cortina, total ice, and just banking it around those corners. Legendary. But top that off with the Fire and Ice films from Bogner. Outrageous. The stunts, the scene at night with disco lights and explosion, for a guy in a one-piece suit and big hair and headbands, that's heaven. And the tricks they did, flying off of icebergs, dropping into crevasses with that rock-hard ice. No helmet. No helmet. All freedom. It's a pleasure and an honor to show you these clips for John Eaves.
Multi-talented John Eaves elevated freestyle, winning 42 titles across all events, then soared as a Bond stuntman, a Bogner star, filmmaker, musician, and coach. But the true testament to the Eaves man's diverse talents is that he is not best known for winning 42 international freestyle titles and 3 times being crowned as skiing's Freestyle Skier of the Year. Instead, he is most widely celebrated for a high-speed caper on skis through the Cortina Olympic bobsled track in the 1981 James Bond classic, For Your Eyes Only. No wonder. The clip has been viewed an estimated 1 billion times. Eaves entered the freestyle scene in the mid-1970s with extremely strong genes. Both his mother, 2-time Olympian Rhoda Wortley, and his aunt Rona Wortley dominated alpine racing in the 1940s and 50s and are enshrined in Ishpeming as well as a slew of Canadian ski halls. Born in Montreal on April 8, 1953, Eaves made his first turns on Mount Royal before he could even walk, then nurtured his talents in the Laurentians, racing alongside Ken Reid while also pursuing a love of music. Ideally equipped with training as a gymnast and diver, he found his own vibe in freestyle, choosing to join the Freestyle Festival rather than pursuing a cinematography degree. Best known as the godfather of aerials who pioneered new methods for off-snow training, he was a true all-rounder, winning 10 mogul titles. Looking to bolster his ballet routine, Eaves went to Nashville each fall, composing and performing the arrangement that would accompany his ballet runs. Early in his career, Eaves met Willie Bogner, the ex-Alpine star and head of the legendary ski wear company that was an early supporter of freestyle. This began many decades of collaboration with Willie Bogner, who enlisted Eaves as the lead performer in multiple Fire and Ice productions. Bogner also introduced Eaves to the Bond crew, and Eaves was eventually brought on as the stuntman for Roger Moore. Eaves worked with Ethel Kennedy and Maria Shriver to raise money for the Special Olympics via the Bogner films being shown in the U.S. Just after 9/11 in November 2001, the Bogner Tour's New York City stop, with an assist from Pink, raised money for the children who lost their parents in the attack. Today, Eaves and his wife Bridget divide their time between Fiji and Calgary. For his aerial excellence and a lifetime as an unrivaled skiing ambassador, John Eaves earns induction into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame.
John Eaves. Having been elected by the 15 million skiers and snowboarders in America, we hereby bestow upon you on this night in Big Sky, Montana, no fireworks, our country's highest snow sport award, Medal of Honor, and confer upon you from this day forward, Saturday, March 25th, 2023, which I know is very special for Steve Kircher because he got a chance to do the tram with you today. Induction into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, where your accomplishments will forever be remembered.
Hello. All right. Right on. Dan, I have never had so much sunshine blown up my butt at once, man. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm going to get this thing rolling here. Okay. Thank you all so much for this incredible honor. I've been blessed to enjoy a skiing career, as a competitor, a coach, a skier in films, and a sports film producer. I was born the son of a ski racer, Rhoda Wordle Eaves. She had a twin sister, Rona, and they competed in the 48 Olympics in St. Moritz and in Oslo in 52. They raced throughout the USA in the 40s and 50s, winning the Harriman Cup, the Roach Cup, the US downhill title. In 1947, they skied in the first color ski film ever called Rhythm on Snow, skiing with coach Tony Matt from Sun Valley. In 79, in Tignes, France, I won an aerial event on the other side of the mountain in Val d'Isère, sorry. On the other side of the mountain in Val d'Isère, my friend Ken Reed won the downhill. Of course, all we heard at home on the radio was that Ken Reed won the downhill. And my mother called up the radio station and she said, "How come you haven't broadcast the results of freestyle skier John Eaves?" And guess what? All they had to say was, "Are you his mother?" Anyhow. Scott Brooksbank, where are you, Scotty? Scott Brooksbank and I were elected to the board of directors of the Professional Freestyle Association in 1977. Our sport was in turmoil. Insurance companies were putting a stop to it. Imagine no competitions allowed in the birthplace of freestyle skiing. Scott and myself were left with an incredible burden: how to keep the sport alive. The only option at the time was to bring freestyle skiing into the Olympics under the umbrella of the FIS. And anyhow, many years later, it was a proud day for freestyle in America when Johnny Mosley brought back a gold medal from Nagano. Yahoo. Scott Brooksbank did so much work to make that happen. In 1979, there was an incredible movie produced. My favorite ski movie of all time is Dick Barrymore's Canadian Mountain Odyssey, featuring his son Blake as Ted Shred on a makeshift snowboard, way ahead of its time. And of course, the beautiful and talented Holly DuPont, whose daughter Lexi now carries on the family film tradition. I'm sure you've heard of Lexi DuPont. Certain individuals you meet along the course of your life can leave an incredible impact. For me, that individual was Willie Bogner. In '75, I started my journey with Bogner, and as time went on, events and titles were won. I started skiing in Willie's movie. Willie asked me to ski for Roger Moore in Cortina on a movie called For Your Eyes Only. Roger Moore was a champion to work with, and we quickly bonded. During this time, I learned how to stand up for safety and prioritize my survival, even when it meant looking John Glenn, the director, in the eye and saying, "Listen, I am not doing this until it's safe." Roger Moore did me an incredible favor while filming at the base of the ski jump. All the skis on the set had their brand names blocked out, so I had to stand my ground when the production company said, "They're going to cover my Olin ski logo, dude." And I said, "No way, man." Especially after Olin had stamped all my skis with serial numbers starting with 007. They were so stoked about this. Roger was in line for he was in a lineup for the elevator going up to the ski jump, if you've seen the film. And John Glenn asked Roger if he could please hold his skis so the camera could not see the Olin logo. Roger looked at me and gave me a wink and turned back to John Glenn, and he says, "There's no bloody way in hell I'm going to hold them like that. I'm holding them the way I want to." 1 billion viewers saw that film. Olin was stoked. Roger became a friend for life. One of my most enjoyable times working on Fire Nights was powder skiing at the Bobby Burns Lodge with Katie Morning and Judy Nagel and Bob Salerno. I literally thought I had gone to heaven skiing with these angels. Katie would be here tonight, but she couldn't make it over the pass, and she's got a friend who's sick. My highlight in skiing in Fire and Ice with Susie Chaffee was a dual ballet performed at the bottom of giant steps that you saw in the film here before. And it was actually choreographed by Olympic gold medalist in figure skating Robin Cousins. In 2016, at the Hall of Fame inductions in Aspen, I was invited by Bob Salerno to walk down the aisle and stand on the podium, just like Chris Davenport is here with me right now, and Scott. And John Clendena was there. And as we all know, our good friend Bob passed away recently, reminding me of how incredibly incredibly important my freestyle family is. As a cameraman, I filmed for McGillivray Freeman, Walt Disney, Jackie Chan, Bogner, and various ski companies, and was starting to make my way into the feature film business, but decided to develop my own production company. And I can happily say it's taken me on adventures around the world over the last 30 years. The most important thing I learned in filmmaking was to enjoy the process and somehow pass a good vibe onto the people I'm filming. One of my favorite people to film is Chris Davenport. He brings an incredible amount of stoke with him and shares it with everyone. Last year, he brought his wife, Jessie, to Valemount. It was Jessie's first time skiing there, and I got beautiful face shots of her blasting deep through low-density POW. It was absolutely thrilling to see her joy, and it made me realize why I love capturing these special moments. I'm grateful for the people I've met. As I reach my 70th birthday in 2 weeks, I'm going to reflect back and think about what an incredible ride it's been. Since I've met my beautiful wife, Bridget, in 1967, we've been together for 54 years, and I thank her for standing behind me and supporting me all these years. Hans Moser, founder of CMH, a person who I idolize, once said, "A man should have wings to carry him where his dreams go, but sometimes a pair of skis can make a great substitute." This induction is as well, once again, a special honor, as I can now join my mother and my aunt as a member of the USSS HOF, as they were inducted in '69. And again, you just told me we are the first mother-son team, I think. That is huge for me. Yeah. Thank you, Linda, and everyone from Bogner for being here and supporting myself in the hall. And I wanted to especially congratulate Rini Gorsuch for her courageous and compelling induction speech last night. I had the honor of skiing with Dave, Willie, Bogner, and Peppy, and we shared an incredible week of skiing in CMH sometime in the 90s. It was fantastic. And of course, I want to congratulate all my fellow inductees. I love you all. Thank you so much.